Hey YouTube, Vinny M here, and welcome to another video here on the channel. Today we're doing another video in the Hacks and How-To series, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to turn an original Carlisle bandage tin into something that can actually save somebody's life. Something that is really important to me, having spent 14 years as a firefighter EMT and 6 years as a 911 dispatcher prior to that, is actually having the ability to help someone that's life is in danger. I don't know how many reenactments I've been to where someone comes running up and they're like, I have a first aid kit, and it's Band-Aids, alcohol prep pads, Neosporin, Tylenol, Advil, and like some little blister pads. That is not a first aid kit. That does not save anybody's life if they fall on a bayonet and have a arterial bleed in their leg. It doesn't save anyone's life if, God forbid, a blank adapter was to shoot the center plug out and it go through someone's arm or leg. But what I'm going to show you today will solve those problems for you, but it doesn't look like you have it. You're going to have an original Carlisle bandage tin that contains this item where no one is any the wiser. And I think that's really, really cool when you can integrate these original items like these tins into your impression while having modern medical capability. The device that we're going to put in here is something that's been known the world over since the late 1800s to be a multi-use life-saving device. It can be used for splinting, which doesn't necessarily save a life, but it sure is handy. It can be used as an arm sling, which again doesn't necessarily save a life, but it sure is handy. But it can be used as an effective tourniquet, and Crisis Medicine recently did a study with these and determined that via Doppler ultrasound, which is actually the method at which tourniquets are tested for military use, these devices do work as a tourniquet if you fold them 3 inches wide. So this little tin, when we're done today, will be a splinting device, a tourniqueting device, and a arm sling device. So that's pretty cool that you can have all that in this little tin. So what you're going to need is a Carlisle tin that is opened or you're willing to open. It can either be void of the ring that goes around it, or you can keep it and I'll show you how to put it back on. One of those devices is in this tin, but you cannot tell this tin was ever even opened. It doesn't matter if you have the brass one or copper one, the plastic ones, or the actual ones that were made from tin. They will all work. Now let's talk about the device that's inside of these. It is a triangular bandage. Which is also known as a cravat and an Esmark bandage. So the history of these things, they came out in the late 1800s. They were called the Esmark bandage. Originally they had really, really cool markings all over them, little drawings of what you could use them for, and it was very artistic looking and really, really neat. Actually, I'll show you a picture of what those looked like. At some point they started calling them triangular bandages and cravats, but typically when you hear the term cravat you're hearing this one right here, which is the actual heavy-duty cotton ones. This is what you want. These are about $8 and they are made from a thick piece of cotton. So this will not rip or tear when you put force on it, which makes it great for using as a tourniquet. Now there is another type of triangular bandage commonly seen in hospital use that's more disposable, more of a throwaway. And it's not that these are reusable, but these are made to be a seriously strong piece of material, where these are not. They're made much more cheap. And that is these right here. They are made of a piece of woven material that you can actually see through. So we want this one, what's commonly referred to as the cravat, for this project. You can use the other one if it's all you have, but I'm telling you, this is the one that's going to serve you better. It might be $8 for one, but you intend to never have to use it. These are the ones that the Doppler study was done with that proved they could work as a tourniquet when they unfold at 3 inches wide, which incidentally is about how wide they're folded to whenever you unfold the first fold. At the end of the video, I'll show you how to use it as a tourniquet. I'll insert some instructional pictures. But let's show how we're going to get it in the actual tin. So in the tin, what I did is I took it out of its original package and I just put it in the tin. And then after a while I thought, well, it would be nice if it was actually waterproof, so I had it vacuum sealed and then put it back in the tin. So it will fit in the tin if you fold it smaller than it comes, because see, this is much bigger than what that is. If you'll kind of unfold it like this and then fold it this way to make it shorter in overall length, you can get it to fit. So you can either just put it in here as is, no cover on it, or you can vacuum seal it like I did. And then you just put the lid back on it. It's that simple. It fits like a dream. Now, let me show you how to do it where you have the band if you want it. So, right here, this one also has one. This is the Rescue Essentials brand one. The one that was in this one was the North American Rescue branded one. They're exactly the same. You see, this one I actually just put it in there in its original package instead of vacuum sealing it. So what you're going to do is you're going to put it in there, and you really have to kind of shove the corners in and mash the plastic down so it doesn't get in the actual lip when you close it. Put your lid on, and you're going to need a little mallet. And what you want to do is you want to kind of bend this where it isn't wide at the corners, all right? And you're going to get a little mallet like this, and we're going to start it on the back corners. So the opposite side that it opens. So get those centered on that edge there, just like that. And you want to tap that down with the mallet. Now that that is actually locked onto the rim, you want to hold it and just work your way around. You want to actually start with the side that doesn't have the pull tab. So that would be this side right here. Alright. Just work your way around. Just like that. And now you can come back on the other side, even though it's looking pretty good. And you can get this all mashed together at the top where it'll hold. Just like that. And now, not only do you have your life-saving device in an original tin, but most people that hold your tin aren't even going to be able to tell that you ever opened it to begin with. It looks like it's still a sealed original tin. So there you go. Let me show you real quick, in case you have no idea how to do this. I wasn't going to include this because the video is getting kind of long, but I'll show you anyway how you use one of these as a tourniquet. Now the dimensions are the same whether you have the green one, or whether you have the this is like a mousseline see-through. So you're gonna fold it where it's 3 inches wide, thereabouts. And this is really hard to do for me because I don't have any way to lay it out flat currently. Alright, so we're gonna fold it about 3 inches wide. These cheapos don't have the structure that the other ones have either, so when you fold them, they kind of want to more roll than fold. They don't want to stay flat. What you're going to do, let's say that I have an arterial bleed right here. You're going to tie this around the injury. Two to 3 inches above it. Alright. You're just going to tie a simple knot. It's just an overhand knot. You're going to take a stick or a pin and you're going to put it on the knot, and then you're going to tie another knot over it. It's really hard to do on yourself. It is doable. If you have talent, I suppose. I guess I've been doing this enough years to have said talent. You do have to kind of bite it with your teeth to pull it, if you're doing it on yourself. Now that I have that pin tied between the two knots, that's where I get my mechanical advantage from, to tighten it as a tourniquet. I'm going to turn the pin, turn the pin, turn the pin, until it cuts off blood flow, which it's doing now. Your runners are kind of going to be in the way, so you can get those out of the way best you can. Then what we're going to want to do is we're going to slide that pin just enough to make it go down here, right? We want to hold that tension, and we want to bring our runner around, if we have enough, in the opposite direction, like this, all right? And tie it back to itself. I guess I don't need to insert pictures if I'm going to show you how to do it. Alright, bite one side of this. And pull it tight to hold the pin in the direction where it was tightened. You can also use a string, piece of rope, or another cravat to tie it, and it'll be even better than trying to use a piece off the same cravat. I want to make one last note for a way to use this device to save a life. The triangular bandages and cravats always come with 2 safety pins. There's a couple ways you can use safety pins to save a life, and I know that sounds crazy. If someone is unconscious, most of the time what causes their airway to become closed off and keeps them from being able to breathe when they're unconscious from an injury or a medical condition is their tongue falling back in their throat. And what you can do, and this is in many different wilderness medicine texts, you can take this and you can pierce it through one side of the lip, through the tongue, and then close it off so it's holding the lip and the tongue together. You don't want to go in the center of the tongue because of the vascular density in the center of the tongue, but you want to go to each side and put 2 of these in, one on each side of the mouth, and it will pull the tongue forward and hold it in place so that the unconscious person can't choke on their own tongue. Another thing you can use these for is if you have a big open gash and you have no way to put stitches in it, you're out in the middle of nowhere, you can open these up, go through one side of the skin, pull it tight, go through the other side, clip it closed. Now you have made temporary stitches, and that was actually done in World War II. The trick with the mouth, putting these in the tongue and the lip to hold the tongue forward so you can't choke on your own tongue if you're unconscious, was actually taught to combat medics in Vietnam. Go to rescueessentials.com or Amazon or North American Rescue, get you a cravat, triangular bandage, make sure that it says it is made from actual cotton and not this stuff. The military contract ones are always the cotton, and if it's a military contract, it will actually have a military contract number for it. So if it's got a military contract number, you can't go wrong because it'll be the right one. Get you a Carlisle tin that's damaged, already opened, you don't really care about it, you're willing to open it, open her up, throw your bandage in there. Like I said, I like to use the plastic of some sort in order to maintain some waterproof capability. And if you still have the rim, put that back on and you are golden. So that's all I have for you guys today. As always, like and subscribe, and have a nice day.